Okay, there's a reshoot of a video I just shot talking about scheduling preferences, and lo and behold, that very next shift, the next day, that night actually, it came to fruition in the sense of my point of view in the video was, you'd rather take shifts in a row, and there are a lot of benefits to that, and tangible benefits are, you know uh, it makes you more valuable to the unit, because the managers can more easily schedule when it's a nice easy grid pattern of blocks of time, rather than day here, day here, day here, day here over 7 days, and repeat like that. It's easier to say, okay, these 3 days, 3 days are yours, or even 4 days. If you overlap weeks or something. I know people have overlapped 2 weeks and have 6 blocks, and that's insane. It's just too tiring, in my opinion, for that kind of scenario. But they're a lot younger than I am. But they're still in their mid-30s. But that would kill me. The worst I ever did, I did do six. No, I did 7 out of 8. I did have a break in the middle there, but I mean, people fainted when they heard that. They were like, "What the heck?" But that was a mistake on my part. It was a mistake in scheduling on my part. So, but it makes it more valuable to the managers. And then the other tangible aspects, or subsets to that, is the managers capitulate to you. They capitulate to me. I know they do. On certain aspects, they give a lot of people the same instances. They give other people more crap. With me, they're like, "How come you get away with it?" And I was like, "I eat up weekends. I work every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat." So for the weekends, they know they're fine. The managers know there's me in there at least. One unit, it's 1/3 of the nurses for now. It'll be 1/6 when we reopen, and for the other unit, I'm 1/8 of the unit. That much is taken care of for them. And there's a couple of my coworkers that do that too, because we have children. We childcare stuff, so it's every week that way. So really, on one unit where they're completely covered, and then some. And on the other unit, they have at least 50% coverage, they know, because of this cadre of old fogies and that kids. So that makes you tangibly valuable to the managers. Some of the intangible benefits to you for rolling schedules in a row is that your assignments are easier. And really, that's the name of the game, right? I mean, that's what we want. We want to be able to do your job, but you want to do it easily. I'm sorry if there's a little background air condition. It's 96 degrees, or 9. It's 90. It's going to be 96. That having an easy assignment, no offense, is it's what everybody aims for. That's the layup you want. And it some people say, wow, it's 7 or 8 patients versus 4 patients or 5 patients. And that's the caveat that I said in the original video, that I was like, that's not always the case. You don't always want to go with the numerically lower number. That's not always good. Sure enough, I have one of the old timers, and I was handing off to her, and she emphasized to me, she says, "Ray, I want this group. I want our group back. Okay, make sure that happens." I said, "No worries." I said, "I'll make sure it happens." Sure enough, overnight, call out, whatever, she was going to have either the bigger group of 7, or she could get floated back to our original, our home unit, and have an assignment of 5. Now, 7 to 5, you think, wow, take the 5. No, she's had this 7 group before. It was like 6 or 5, I forgot what it was. I think it was 5. So I took 5 from her, and she wanted the same 5 back. But she was willing to take the 7. She didn't say that to me, but I knew that. And overnight, the charge, I was talking to her, she was a new charge. I was like, no. X is going to want that 7. She's like, what? She can go back to the home unit and take 5. I said, no. You don't understand. She had that on Monday. it's going to be Wednesday. So Tuesday she had 5, and then Wednesday she was expected to have 5, but she will take the 7. And I knew that. And I said, no, she's going to want this. Are you sure? I was like, look, I'll text her at 4 a.m. if you want. I know she's up at 4 a.m. Because we have texted before on patients in the past and saying how, an update, basically giving her an update by text. She wanted to know everything's okay, everything's right, how she's doing. She's just concerned, and basically, it's all HIPAA because that's her patient. We didn't name anybody by name. So she's like, how's, so-and-so doing? I was like, how's that problem one doing? I was like, it's fine. So I know her. And I was like, no. She wants the 7. And sure enough, when they finally got hold of her around 5 o'clock, 5:30, I forgot what it was, the other charge, she's like, no, she'll take the 7. And I said, I knew it. And when she came in, when I was giving her report, partial report at that point, I was only giving her 3 or 4. I forgot how many I was giving her back to her. And I was like, I knew you wanted the 7. And she's like, yeah, I'm going on vacation. I'm not going to deal with a whole new 5 set. That's hard. You have to learn a whole new slate of patients. You got to take full report on that. Whereas for me giving her report on those 4 patients or whatever, we did it in between huddle. She's like, no, let huddle wait. She's just like, 2 minutes, we're done. I was like, okay, bang, this with this changed, that no change, that no change. This is a little bit of change, this adjusted. This one's lab results came back, look at this. And she's like, what? I was like, yeah, well, what are you gonna do? So I was like, that was taken on your shift. I was like, but the results came back. This is what's happening and what's going on. This is what's got to go forward. Done. Literally, it was like under a minute. We gave report. Boom. She's on to the next group, and she got report from my friend who took the other half and gave her report relatively quickly. But she wanted the greater group, the greater numerical group. And most people are like, why would you take 7 patients over 5? Because she's had them before. And that makes it so much easier. That's the intangible benefit of rolling your shifts together, having them in a row. You get to know them. Yes, and I said this I don't think I'll ever post it because I'm replacing with this one. Yes, you're going to get discharged. You're going to get transfers. You're going to shuffle beds around sometimes. But by and large, usually when you get 3 in a row, you're going to have survivors. Sorry about that. You're going to have patients through the time. The last time I rolled 4 in a row, because they called me for availability, I still had 3 out of 5 patients, and the nurse I was giving it to actually, she's kind of bridging the gap. She's going to be our nurse practitioner, actually provider, but she's just kind of filling in shifts right now. She was like, oh, you're back. I was like, I never left. 4 shifts. She's like, oh my God. She's like, oh, but I was like, you want our group? It's 3 out of 5. And she's like, what? But they had already signed it by that time to someone else, and I gave it to them. I was like, well, you've got to fight for it. She's like, no, I'm not going to take it out. She already took the report. She's already taken her notes. I was like, you should have come in earlier. If you came in, she came in a half hour earlier, she would have had such an easy shift because she would have had 3. She probably still had the S bars for them. They had no if anything, they got better. And I was like, no, those 3 got better. There's a little problem in this one, but he's technically better. He was cognitively better. Yeah, there were some issues, but that's always the case. That was, I spoke with the cardiologist. He's like, I was like, okay, I called you in to take a look at this, He's like, yeah, we knew that for whatever. I was like, okay, but it's new onset for me, and I want you to be aware of it. And he's like, thank you very much, whatever. But, and she knew that too. I was like, yeah, so that's new for me, but old for them, right? So she knew of it too. But the rest of them, there was a couple flips in there, but I said, we literally got the same patient because we get the same type of patients. I was like, that's the same patient, just different faces and names. And she's like, oh shit. I was like, what are you going to do? Come in earlier. You could have the same, she could have easily swapped because they were both coming on new. Even though she's back after 3 days, I had switched with her one day, and so it was easy. So that's why I knew she would have wanted my our old group back. It was just so easy. I cultivated them. They were better. A couple of them ready for discharge in a day or two. So I was like, no, they're ready to go. So, but the other nurse got it, and she had it. It was a pretty easy group. But again, that's why I say scheduling doesn't just help you in the way of getting your ducks in a row. You have much more break time in between. You want to pick up a second job, part-time gig, you could do that too. To work one day, that's a lot. But it also helps you intangibly by improving your game plan every day, because you're just taking updates. You know the patient by then, rather than learning anew. And I said that. I'd rather have. One time I was like, oh, I'd rather have the 7 than the 5, and sure enough, they gave me the 5, and I was like, shit, what am I gonna do? You float back. But I would have taken the 7. I said I would have taken that 7, even though it wasn't even my home unit, whatever. I would have taken. It would have been an easier assignment for me because I already knew them. So same scenario with my friend. Even though they were gonna float her back thinking that she would take the numerically lower one. I said, no, I absolutely not. I know she's going to take the 7 over the 5. Now, new nurses coming in, you're learning, it's new. Maybe, I remember when I was a very new nurse, I would have taken a numerically lower amount because it was all new to me. But as you get accustomed to it, it'll be nothing to you. That's why I said to when I had the 7 versus 5, I was like, no, I don't care. I'll take the 7. And they gave me the 7. And then the next night they're like, oh no, we're floating it back. I was like, oh man. Even though it was 5, I was like, I would rather take the 7. But you take that's sometimes it's out of your control. So good luck. Hope that helps.